Are you looking for something to read? Interested in sports? Here are a few books that don't just include sporting events in them, they are centered around sports. Everything important in these stories is reflected in sports being played better or worse, or sports becoming more or less important to the main character. These are all set in high school, when sports may be the most important thing in your life. Not only are these good stories, and they really are, but they include some great examples of sports writing and detailed examinations of games: football, baseball, basketball, hockey, and even swimming. The first book, Center Field, by Robert Lipsyte, is about Mike, who loves the Yankees. Mike, the high school sports star who's doing everything right. He's playing center field on the varsity team. He's friends with the cool kids. He's dating a cheerleader. Then a new kid comes to town, Oscar Ramirez, another talented center fielder. Oscar, who's probably better than Mike. Mike doesn't know how to handle this. He starts acting out in school, starts getting detention. When Mike is punished by being assigned to help out the cyber club, he's thrown into an alien environment. These kids talk differently, act differently, and most important, they see the world differently. Mike's coach, Coach Cody, is strangely powerful at Mike's high school. Coach Cody doesn't just head the baseball program, he's also in charge of security at the high school. Coach Cody starts asking Mike to do some strange things, like spy on the cyber club. Coach Cody holds Mike's baseball future in his hands, and Mike doesn't know what to do. Will he figure out why Coach Cody is so paranoid? Is Coach Cody right? And what's going on with Oscar? You'll have to read to find out. Robert Lipsyte has other books as well, including these two. My second book, Whale Song by Chris Kutcher, is a great story about a mixed-race kid growing up in Spokane, Washington in 2001. Unlike Mike from center field, T.J. Jones is a gifted athlete with no interest in involving himself in the culture of high school athletics. He's disdainful of the cult of sport in his school, and he's really funny while being critical of the world around him. But he's not that engaged until he finds a cause, getting a letterman's jacket for a bullied classmate. TJ starts up a swim team, the first in his high school's history. And it's not a standard swim team. He assembles the outcasts and misfits of his school and maneuvers around the powers that be to make them all eligible for a letter. The scenes with the swim team are really funny, and TJ narrates things vividly. He's physically and mentally gifted, but he's still an outsider because of his racial background and his refusal to accept the status quo. Along with the humor in this book is some real darkness. The story has some horrible villains, child abusers, racists, and thugs, and TJ has to learn how to deal with them, work around them, defeat them, and ultimately forget them, not let them control his life. TJ's original mission to get letters for his team becomes something grander and bigger, and as for what Whale Talk, the title, refers to, it's pretty cool. I urge you to read and find out. This title is also available digitally and as an audiobook. Chris Kutcher has more books about sports as well, including the two pictured here. My third book, The Moves Make the Man by Bruce Brooks, is a different take on high school athletics. 13-year-old Jerome Foxworthy is a talented basketball player, almost certainly the best in his high school, and he loves the game and would love to be on the team, but he doesn't even get the chance to try out because the coach is racist, and Jerome is the only African-American student in his newly integrated high school in North Carolina in the early 60s. So Jerome practices at night, alone. Jerome's narration is amazing. He has funny things to say about everything, including young adult novels. His take on the world drives this story forward. Jerome has to take home ec to learn how to cook after his mom is laid up for a few months. In home ec class, he befriends the only other boy, a kid named Bix, who's a talented shortstop and deeply troubled. For reasons you'll have to read to find out, It's very important to Bix to learn how to play basketball well, but he refuses to learn Jerome's moves, the fake-outs you need to win at basketball. Jerome teaches him as well as he can, and then goes along with Bix to view Bix's big game and the aftermath. Bix's story is disturbing, and Jerome is profoundly affected by what he sees. I highly recommend this one. Here are a couple more books by Bruce Brooks. My fourth book, Payback Time by Carl Duker, is yet another take on sports in high school. Mitch is a high school senior, and he's no athlete. He is, reluctantly, the sports reporter on the high school paper. This story is really a mystery novel wrapped up in a sports story. The mystery surrounds Angel, the new player on the football team. Angel is clearly better than the starting quarterback, but the coach keeps Angel on the bench. Angel looks older than the other players. The coach won't let Mitch interview Angel. Even the Seattle Times won't print Mitch's accounts of Angel's phenomenal play. They edit out all mentions of Angel. Are you starting to get suspicious? Mitch is too. He decides to investigate. What he finds out is both more complicated and dangerous than he'd imagined. Mitch has to decide whether or not to step up and take responsibility for the events that he's triggered. Carl Duker has more books to take a look at, too. My final book, Iceman, by Chris Lynch, is an amazing book with a hero unlike the others here. Eric is the goon on the hockey team. He's the heavy who checks other players hard on the ice. He hurts people. His own team doesn't like him, though he wins them games. He scares his own coach a little bit. But Eric is searching for some way to communicate with the world around him. He loves his older brother, a former star athlete himself, who wanders around the house with his guitar, saying not terribly helpful things. Eric loves his parents too. His mother, who thinks that church-going can cure all evils, and his father, who just really likes watching Eric hit people on the ice. But Eric isn't comfortable at home. He's comfortable at a local funeral home, helping out Mr. McLaughlin, who prepares the corpses. Eric thinks he's found himself in that funeral home. He thinks that being around dead people is the only way for him. And then something really creepy happens. I'm warning you here. It's a real game changer. What follows is a fantastic hockey game with some of the best play-by-play hockey writing I've read in fiction. Eric discovers a lot about himself during that last game, and you can actually see it happening in the way that Eric plays the game. Here are a couple more books by Chris Lynch. So I hope one of these books has piqued your interest. I think they're all excellent reads and have great main characters.